anything can happen on Wrestle Austin. Welcome to Wrestle Lost Folks.
Ah, yes, you can. Yeah, it's the reference to the cast.
The sniper.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wrestle Lost. A couple of things to talk about. It's going to be a pretty interesting time. So to get it going, here's Johnny.
Okay. First off, want to send off our condolences to Arn Anderson and the whole Anderson family. His oldest son, Barrett, and brother to Brock Anderson passed away last weekend. He was only 37. I don't know. I didn't hear any details as to how or what happened. I don't know if you heard anything.
I haven't heard anything either. I didn't want to. Okay, so I heard about this last weekend before we went live, but since it was like breaking news and nothing much had been said about it,
Yeah.
I held off on talking about it because it was just going to be a simple mention, and I thought we would have had more by this weekend. But I don't know, man. It looks like they're keeping it pretty secret, so I don't know what exactly happened.
Okay, now some injury updates. Yesterday, Kofi Kingston had surgery on his ankle, and he'll unfortunately will miss out on WrestleMania. This coming Tuesday, Danhausen's going to have surgery to repair a torn pec, and Bray Wyatt is still questionable for WrestleMania. He's has some sort of illness. They haven't specified what's going on. So far, his feud between him and Bobby Lashley has been pretty much one-sided, with a couple of Uncle Howdy appearances. So we got 2 weeks to go. So we'll see if he makes it.
I hope he makes it. Look, man. I want to see Bray Wyatt 100%. So, would I be mad if he misses out on Mania, even though the match is against Bobby Lashley? Yes, I would be mad, but I don't know what illness this is.
Yeah,
You know,
they're not saying.
he's very secretive about what he's going through at times, which I'm the same way, so I can completely understand.
Oh, we know.
Yeah. So I as long as he's getting better, I just that's all I hope for. You know, if you can't make it to Mania, I want to see you there, but if you can't, that's fine. I just want him to be all right, you know, whatever this illness is.
Yeah.
I just wish we could know more. Because shit be scary out there at times.
Yeah. Tonight, AEW's holding their first ever, for second ever house show. It's called House Rules. It's in Troy, Ohio. The main event is scheduled to be Jon Moxley and Claudio versus Lee Moriarty and Big Bill from the Firm. Now, Moxley unfortunately had to cancel another booking because he was supposed to be at Scrapper Mania, which is 7, which is part of the OTT promotion in Ireland, which is something he already had booked for a couple of years now. But then they advertised him for this house show, so he had to pull out of the Ireland OTT event. But in exchange, AEW sent Eddie Kingston and Pac to that show, so at least they got something in return. But I know Moxley wasn't happy about it because he was looking forward to this event.
Nothing against AEW because they put on some real good shit. This is just a house show, though.
Yeah,
I would think that the show in Ireland, like you said, meant more to Moxley.
because he was going to take on Big Damo.
See? So yeah, me personally, if I was Tony, I would have been like, I understand. This has been booked for a while, and this is going to be a bigger thing than our
Yeah.
house show.
And,
So
and Big Damo has been on AEW before.
yeah, so I that's what I would have done personally. I would have let him go for the one show.
Yeah. This week on Tuesday, the Nikki and Brie Bella announced that they were leaving WWE. Their contract is expired, and so they went back to their real last name of Garcia.
I didn't know y'all were related.
No relation.
Ah, damn it.
So it's Brie and Nikki Garcia. Yeah, they decided after 15 years, you know, they had enough of WWE. They've been there for 50. You know, they'll be 40 this year. And they said they're both mothers. They're entrepreneurs. They're winemakers. They got other business going on. Also, they weren't too happy with WWE around the time of Raw 30 because they went out to promote that in conjunction with Nikki's show where she was getting married. But then when they came to the night of Raw 30, they didn't have anything for them. So they went on Instagram Live and talked about like women's evolution and all that. So that may have been a nail in the coffin right there. And even though they're not even 40 yet, they may not be done with wrestling. I know they said that they're not interested in going to AEW, but you never know.
I mean, you never truly know because money talks, man. All right? If the money is good and if they can still go, which, I mean, I would think they can still do something. Look at fucking Sting out there still doing some shit. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure they can still go. So, if they can reach a deal, I know a lot of people said please don't go to AEW because you're pretty much just gonna get eaten alive. There's other stuff they can do. They don't necessarily have to wrestle the whole time.
They could be a part of the Outcasts.
Yeah. They're really good on the mic. So they can just do a whole lot of different shit. They, like I said, they don't have to wrestle. So there's the workaround.
Yeah, like I turned on the SAP on my TV and I just sat and just listened to Thunder Rosa call a match for a few minutes.
There you go.
She's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got to hear her call a match.
I've heard her like once or twice, but I
Yeah.
need to watch more.
Yeah.
I need to watch more of her commentary because it's like what we were talking about earlier this week. Because with Kofi being injured, like you mentioned, and having surgery and all that, and you brought up the question of, well, I wonder how Big E is doing.
Yeah.
Which it has, the word has started going around that he might be back soon.
Okay.
I don't know what they mean by soon,
Hmm.
but your boy Xavier out there, even though he did get a win this week, your boy is running solo. So get him some help, man. But yeah, one of the things he mentioned was if he's not gonna come back to wrestle, he should be doing some commentary and shit. Which I said I agree because he would probably be real good at it. So I'm not surprised that you're having a good time over there watching and listening to a Thunder Rosa match.
Yeah.
Thunder Rosa commentary.
Yeah. And WWE they're looking to streamline WrestleMania this year as far as how many people are actually working the event to make it look better for a sale. So a lot of the behind the scenes work is going to be done remotely, and they're planning on having a smaller scale Hall of Fame ceremony this year. So far, Rey Mysterio was named. Also, Ric Flair announced that the Great Mood is going in as well, like we talked about last week. And there's also been talk about Stacy Keibler going in. Batista unfortunately won't be able to make it again this year. He's in South Africa filming a movie, so he won't make it. But back to the streamlining. The phrase "cutting costs" was mentioned this week, and that's when you're talking about WWE. That's not a good thing.
Nope.
I mean, we've already heard today of a rider that was released. So I'm hoping that's not the beginning of things to come. But we'll have to see with 2 weeks to WrestleMania, and we know what happened the week after Mania in 2020 and 21. So
I don't. My mind doesn't want to go to the worst case scenario just yet, but you can't help but think it, man. Like it. I don't think it's a coincidence that Vince McMahon is around again. And all these things slowly start happening.
Well, they say he wasn't there this week at Raw, so that's good thing.
I hope so. I hope he really wasn't there because people started panicking. Okay.
Yes.
I don't wanna. I didn't want to show my panic, but when people like SRS start saying, maybe he's doing stuff, and like low key he starts panicking, that's when you need to worry. And we saw a little bit of that from him this week, but at least he wasn't there at this week's Raw, so that's a good sign.
Yeah. Well, Vince just made me forget my train of thought.
Fucking Vince.
Okay, so maybe, hopefully, shortly after WrestleMania or sometime before the end of the year, we heard that the Bruiserweight's going to be coming back. Pete Dunne's going to get his name back. He won't be Butch anymore. I've heard that the reason he's been Butch this whole time and under Triple H is because of the popularity of the Brawling Brutes. But they said when he returns as Pete Dunne, he won't be a part of the Brawling Brutes anymore. So could be a split up coming soon. We'll see. But yeah, it'll be good to have Pete Dunne back.
So, I heard about these last couple of days that they were gonna do whenever he returns, that he was gonna just come back as Pete Dunne. Which, yeah, that's a good move because even
should've
though
been a
Butch, even even though Butch is Pete Dunne, like people didn't really like the name, so
No.
I'm glad that he would be going back. This is how I would do it. And this is the only reason I'm saying this right now is because it literally just popped in my mind as you were talking. So it's going to be that triple threat match for the IC title at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I would have Sheamus win. And he's out there celebrating, and we all know the Brawling Brutes, right? So that's when he comes out, and he goes face to face with Sheamus. Kind of as you made me be Butch, and I'm out of that anymore. I'm Pete Dunne again, and I'm coming for that Intercontinental title. So that's just what I would do.
Just a few notes from ROH this week. There were some more matches added to Supercard of Honor based on what happened on the show. I'm still not watching it yet. I'm still not interested in signing up for Honor Club yet. But I just heard other people talk about it. So let's see. No names have officially been announced for the Reach for the Sky ladder match yet, but there were a few teams that appeared to be vying for spots. You have Top Flight and the newly formed tag team, which I've heard good things of Blake Christian and Grand Metalik. Well, now it's just called Metalik. You have Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels, who were legit ROH Tag Champions 16 years ago, which that brought out Aussie Open. Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher, which Mark Davis was saying, it's 2023. He said, I was 7 years old when y'all were tag champions. So we'll see what other teams get thrown in the mix there. It sounds like it's going to be a good match. Also, we had Athena took on Trish Adora. These matches themselves on ROH TV sound like a good watch. But after that, Athena was challenged by Yuka Sakazaki for the ROH Women's title, which Yuka, the day before Supercard, will be on the Tokyo Joshi Pro Show as well. Oh, yes. So Wheeler Yuta took on Clark Connors, and he defeated him. Clark Connors is originally from the New Japan LA dojo. So afterwards, Wheeler cut a promo, said, "You know what? I'm tired of facing the students. I want to face the teacher." I don't know what Wheeler Yuta was thinking. Either he's just out of his mind, or his balls are really that big. He challenged Katsuyori Shibata for the ROH Pure title, which is amazing. That brought Claudio out to congratulate him on making that decision.
I mean, look, man, he's been hanging out with Moxley and Claudio, Danielson,
Yeah.
though not as much lately from the way they're portraying them. I'm not surprised that he's got a pair of balls on him, you know?
Yeah.
Because you got to get a certain amount of confidence just hanging around them dudes, you know?
Yeah.
As
it's part of
badass as they
Blackpool
are.
Combat Club. Come on, that gives
Yeah.
you confidence right there.
And you have to have a lot of confidence if you're going to challenge one of the heavy hitter from of New Japan.
Yeah. So I'm not surprised that this is a move that Yuta made. I'm gonna have to get Honor Club soon.
I'm gonna have to get Supercar Honor.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
Supercar. Being on the West Coast, Supercar Honor is actually going to start for us at 6 o'clock, which is an hour before SmackDown. So, I'm good with starting on to watch Honor Club instead of SmackDown.
knowing how I do things, I'll be rocking different screens. So, yeah, I can have multiple things on at different times and keep focus on a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna have to start doing that again. I stopped for a good while, but it's time to pick it back up.
Yes, because I'll the week before again I'll give the schedule, but there's a lot of stuff that's going to go on that weekend in LA.
Yeah, might as well start preparing now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And finally, on the news, um, it was announced yesterday, just out of the blue. Tony Khan made an announcement for a match on Dynamite this week. Kenny Omega against AAA Mega Champion Hijo del Vikingo, which everyone who saw that tweet lost their minds.
I lost my mind.
I had to put somebody in their place on Twitter today because they weren't happy with that because they're WWE marks, and they said, well, why are you putting him against somebody that no one knows and with no build? I told him, I said not every match needs a storyline.
Yeah.
Now, this may lead to a storyline because if Kenny does beat him, if Kenny does beat Vikingo, that puts him in line for a title shot down the line. And this is good that that it shows that AEW is still willing to work with AAA.
Yeah. I was one of those that you mentioned that lost their mind. We were at the gym when I saw this shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You were very vocal about it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't come up to me and were like, "Hey, you need to tone yourself down a little bit." The music might have blocked me out a bit. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am really happy that this match is gonna happen. I hope it gets to main event, or that at least gets a decent amount of time, because that's what this match needs. It doesn't need a whole lot of time. I would say 10-15 minutes is good.
Because so far the other match I've heard announced for Dynamite is Stu Grayson versus Jon Moxley. By the way, Stu Grayson is once again signed with AEW.
Yeah. He's taken up for his bros in the Dark Order because they keep on getting hurt and stuff.
Yeah.
Air quotes.
We also have Hook and Stokely.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Old Stokely getting trained to take on Hook. It's not going to do you any good, man.
It was funny.
It was funny, but it's not going to do you any good. Okay. But back to Kenny Omega and Hijo del Vikingo real quick.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair for people to be saying, we don't know this guy, so he shouldn't be getting this opportunity. Just because you don't know who it is doesn't mean he doesn't deserve the opportunity. All right?
But this is coming from a person who mainly watches WWE, so they don't know about all these other promotions.
Yeah. But I've also seen this from people that frequently watch AEW. And for some reason, they haven't heard of Hijo del Vikingo, which is fine. Not everybody watches everything, like we said.
Yeah, they
We-
just don't
we-
understand there's more than 2 wrestling companies out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, we know there's more than 2 wrestling companies out there. It's still hard to keep up and watch everything. But just because you can't watch it all doesn't mean that word doesn't spread. Okay, so I don't know who doesn't use TikTok and stuff like that, but it's quickly becoming more than just a place to put up funny videos. I'm seeing a lot of wrestling on there, man.
There is a lot.
There's a lot of wrestling going on there, and
Some of it's new stuff, some of it's old stuff, some of it's
Okay. So the guy I told you about, he replied to me. I just looked at it. He
what?
said, he said, my guy, wrestling is fake. If I just wanted to watch real dudes fight, I'll watch boxing or MMA. Wrestling is like a TV show, and without a story, it's just guys playing grab ass with each other.
See, this is from a fan that don't understand wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can just
Should I
discredit
call him?
anything he says.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to do something.
Yes.
I'm gonna need you to tag me in this.
Oh.
Because as soon as we finish up here, I got some shit to say.
Yes.
I got some shit to say to this guy. Okay, but here's what I'm gonna finish off saying about this match that's coming up on Wednesday. If you don't know who it is, that's fine.
Watching, you'll learn quick.
That's fine. Yes, watching you will learn real quick what this guy is made of. I have seen a lot of him on YouTube. I have seen a lot of him on TikTok, and I've seen on some of the AAA shows we have seen, I've seen him there as well. So if you don't know who he is, you will learn real quick. And that's a bullshit excuse to throw out there because you didn't always know who some of these guys were. Like when Brock Lesnar came in, I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't know who he was. As big as Ronda Rousey is, probably someone hadn't seen what all she had done.
Right. Back in the day, when Ken Shamrock came in, I didn't know he was in UFC. I wasn't watching UFC back then.
Yeah, I wasn't watching UFC back then either. I still knew of things because of a lot of my friends that I had did watch UFC, and they're like, "Oh shit, you got to check out Ken Shamrock. He's a badass actual fighter." So I knew his name, but just because you haven't seen his shit doesn't mean we're just gonna be outraged because we don't know who this guy is. Nah, give it a chance. Give him a chance. That's all I'm saying. Don't talk shit. Just watch and learn. And if you don't like it after that, cool. It's not for you. But at least you gave it a chance, you know? Hey, Zach. Sorry that you came in on a little bit of a rant there, but yeah, it's just some shit going on with people not wanting to give people chances. So,
Yeah.
People not understanding. Like I
Yeah.
said earlier, there's more than 2 wrestling
Yeah.
promotions out there.
yeah. Zach, I'm going to need you to do me a favor now that I have you here. This Wednesday, AEW, I'm going to need you to watch, man. There's going to be a good match. That's what we were just talking about. Kenny Omega versus Hijo del Vikingo. You need to watch that shit, bro. All right, that's all I had to say about that because
Yeah.
I don't want to get too ragey.
All right. That's all for the news.
All right. Well, it's going to continue to be interesting because
Yeah.
as we get into everything or some of the things that happened this week, I would say it was much better on SmackDown. I don't know how you are gonna feel about it, but I thought SmackDown was the better show. But to start diving into some of that, I'm gonna go over to Johnny and get his moment for WWE this week.
Okay, well, uh, we didn't get much in the whole Bloodline storyline on Monday, and there wasn't much to it this week. Uh, Kevin again rejected Sami, but last night was where this week's angles took place. So the show starts off with Cody Rhodes coming out, and Cody says that he wants to pretty much bring Kevin and Sami back together. So he calls them both out, and Kevin again, says no, he doesn't want to be a part of it. And Sami told him, he said, we could be the ones to take out the ones for the tag titles. And Sami or Kevin Owens said, why would I want to be partners with somebody that doesn't want to be my friend? So this whole time, Kevin just wants a friend.
Start playing. You got a friend? No. Toy Story.
Why can't we be friends? So Kevin Owens walks off, and you see Sami confront him in the parking lot, but Kevin Owens just drives away. So later on, Sami's interviewed, and he said that he's torn because he has a brother that drove away from him, and he's got another what he thought was a brother who he's gonna confront later tonight in Jey Uso. So we get to that spot, the main event. Jey Uso says that he trusted Sami. He let his guard down, and then Sami turned his back on him. That he embarrassed Sami. That he never trusted Sami in the first place. Sami wasn't his family. Then then Sami tells Jey, maybe you actually wanted to hit Roman with a chair instead of me, because Sami is trying to get in Jey's head that Roman is just using him this whole time, to help him keep the titles, which is true, because we've seen all those main events, all those months where the Usos just interfered just to keep the title on Roman.
Yeah. His line exactly on that was, "You're not mad that I hit Roman Reigns with that steel chair. You're just mad that you didn't get to do it first."
Yeah. Yes. And so then Jey and Sami start to fight. Jimmy comes out. They do the 2-on-1. And then Kevin Owens' music comes out. It starts. Kevin comes down, gets in the ring. They both take care of the Usos, and they're standing in the middle of the ring, staring at each other. The crowd, they're chanting, "Hug it out!" And finally, they embrace. The crowd cheers, and then they do the stare down with the Usos. So Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are finally back together again. I've lost count of how many times they've become partners and split up, and become partners and split up over the years, going all the way back to NXT.
Yeah. By my count, from the ones that I've seen, it's at least 5 has happened. But then you got the whole indie circuit, and how many times did it happen there? It's
Right.
something we would have to go
But-
back and take a look at.
In ROH.
Yeah. Yeah. It's probably been closer to 10.
Yeah.
Because that's just 5 in WWE that I could remember. So,
But yeah, that was just something that we've all been waiting on, and they finally pulled it off. Now next week they just need to challenge the Usos for the tag titles.
yeah. And I mean, what? There's technically 2 weeks,
weeks.
left.
2 weeks from tonight. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, that's something they need to do next week. And yeah, it's the question is already on some people's mind, even though it hasn't happened yet. Like Zach just put in chat, for how long? I don't know for how long they're gonna be, air quotes, friends again.
I think
Brothers.
however long they're tag champions.
Yeah, I would even say maybe a little bit more than that. I don't think the
Yeah.
loss of the tag titles is gonna break them up. But
Yeah. Not at first.
No, not at first. Eventually, yes, but not at first. But yeah, man, I was talking to a whole bunch of people as SmackDown was going on, because there was big shit happening from the beginning of SmackDown. So Twitter was going crazy. I was on there going crazy. And so I was going back and forth with a lot of people. And then the embrace happened after like you said, the whole crowd was chanting "Hug it out."
Yeah.
And it was an awesome moment to end it on.
What I don't like is that since it was Cody who wanted to bring them back together, that they're starting to compare Cody to John Cena, just because he's trying to be the peacemaker. I don't like that.
No,
I like Cody. I don't see that.
no, I don't see that either, because, all right, I'm gonna be completely honest, which is what I always do here, so I don't even need to say that shit. Cody wrestled with a torn fucking pec, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he was fucked that match. So I think it's unfair to compare him to like John Cena, who could never do that. And just because he is trying to play peacemaker and trying to bring people together, and a lot of people have been saying even maybe he should focus on his own program instead of sticking his nose in this Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn shit. But it's all tied in. It's all tied into the bloodline. So even though it's not directly with Roman, it still works. Because in the long run, it's a combined effort to take down the bloodline. WrestleMania is gonna, like, whether it be night 1 or night 2, probably on both nights, it's gonna be a real rough night for the bloodline.
Yes.
And you got Kevin, you got Sammy, you got Cody united front against the bloodline. Fuck yeah, man. They got a lot of problems on their hand right now. So
Yeah, and the thing is, right now, WWE still has no idea what's going to main event night 1. You know, I've heard a lot of people say it's going to be Charlotte Flair and Rhea, but then other people are saying it's going to be the tag title match. So I mean, I know they're going to want Rhea and Charlotte, but I would rather see the tag title match main event.
I
Actually,
would rather
I would rather see the tag title match kick off night 2. That way, you can, after, because I'm assuming Sammy and Kevin's going to win it,
Yeah.
and all night long leading up to that, you have segments in the back with Roman, Doom and Roman, worrying about Roman,
I didn't think about that.
and just let Charlotte and Rhea main event night 2.
Night
Night
one.
one, you mean?
Yeah, night 1. But have the tag title match kick off night 2.
I was thinking something along those lines as well. Like, you let Rhea and Charlotte main event night 1, and I would have the tag title match on night 2 as well. But I think if you put it at the beginning, if you make that the first match, it gives Roman a little too much time to calm himself down from what just happened and get focused again. So I would actually make the tag title match the co-main event.
And they also want to balance out the quality, the match quality between both nights, because I know Seth Rollins and Logan Paul are going to be on night 1,
Yeah.
and
Which-
I think Bianca and Asuka are also going to be on night 1. Well, that's what I've heard anyway. If that happens, then Charlotte and Rhea would be on night 2, and they wouldn't be the main event.
It's so hard to do these kind of things because all these are big matches.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
don't want, and they all mean a lot. So you don't want to. God, I'd hate to be Triple H. Actually, I'd love to be Triple H. That's the point.
I'd love to be Triple H as well for many different reasons.
Yes.
But we're not going to go
But
there.
we're not going to.
One thing is money.
Yes. Money is like number 1. And we all know what number 2 is.
Yeah, creative control WWE. Come on. Oh.
Huh?
Well, that's not what I was thinking.
I
know where y'all were
I was
going.
thinking either. Okay, let's get
Never
serious.
saw a single.
That's like a number 3.
That's number 3. Okay, let me try and focus myself again on what I was about to say.
Get back on track.
I would put the Bianca match on night 2, just to balance it out a little bit.
Yeah.
And I would have Charlotte and Rhea main event night 1, just because it needs to have that real big ending to night 1. And I don't know how y'all feel about it because we haven't made predictions or anything like that yet, but I'm with Zach on this one. He says, I'm ready for Mommy versus Charlotte, but I think we all know how that's going to go. Yeah, Rhea wins.
Yeah.
Shit. Like, that needs to be the big moment of the night, is Rhea winning. So that, and it's that, if that's the route they're going with, which I'm 99.9% sure of it, you have that main event.
Like, I heard someone today saying that all the members of the original 4 horsewomen, well, the 3 of them have all changed over the years except for Charlotte.
Yep. If anybody is John Cena 2.0, it's Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we used to make that comparison with Roman,
Right.
but he's changed.
Yeah.
Well, Charlotte
Even
has
Roman
too.
has changed.
She keeps flip flopping between heel and face. So,
Well, we meant like in character.
oh.
Like Becky Lynch, like she was the last kicker, then she became the man, then Big Time Bex. And,
Now she's the man again.
you know, Bailey was the hugger, and now she's a leader of Damage Control. And Sasha, well, we know about Sasha.
Yeah. Yeah, we all know about Mercedes. Yeah. Zach just put in chat. Can someone key me in? Because I highly doubt it. I heard something about Brock versus Stone Cold. Nah.
Okay, that actually, okay. So I left this out of my news, but I'll go ahead and mention that there were two names pitched to Stone Cold last year. The first was Brock Lesnar, but they couldn't agree on the money uh, for Stone Cold. Stone Cold. I mean, come on, he's got a broken neck. You're gonna make him take suplexes?
No.
Or an F5? Come on.
Yes. And so then the other match was Roman Reigns versus Stone Cold, and that never amounted to anything, which is good because now we got Cody versus Roman. Now they've even pitched that LA Knight versus Stone Cold.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, jeez. See, okay, all right.
It works out. Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, what? Come
Yes,
on, that would be
It
funny.
works. So the other day, SRS was doing his normal Wednesday show that he does, and I was in the chat just hanging out, and one of the other guys, as soon as he started talking about LA Knight and possibly going up against Stone Cold, this other person in chat just started going, "What?" And I'm in there like, "Yeah." And then he's in there like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah." And next thing you know, they lose control of the chat because it's just, "Yeah, what? Yeah, what?" It's just the both of us going back and forth like a bunch of dorks in the chat.
I actually started listening to this today. I think go back and finish.
Yeah. It's
What?
I need to put it on my monitor. Stop saying yeah. Just like whenever Johnny said, "Hey, you don't need to say kind of way too much," which I used to do a lot. Kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. That's just a common word.
Yeah. Shit. Damn it! There it is again. Okay.
Ugh.
It would be interesting to see what they decide to do. I think there would have been a bigger chance for Stone Cold and Roman Reigns, since that's what you were talking about for last year. But I think this thing they're trying to do between Stone Cold and LA Knight could be a good thing if they can work it out.
Yeah.
Because LA Knight is losing a lot. So they're going to need to do something to get them a big win. And what would be a better win than against Stone Cold, you know?
Yeah, because according to a lot of people, there was another Bray Wyatt tease last night during a LA Knight interview, which I'm done with that. We don't need that anymore.
I don't know where we're going with any of this. I'm so lost on this whole Bray Wyatt situation. I don't know. Until I see him on TV actually doing something, I'm not even gonna focus on it, because there's just having Lashley on TV keeping the ball rolling somehow isn't enough for me.
Yeah.
If we don't have Uncle Howdy or Bray Wyatt around doing something, it's not going to have a lot of people's interest, and it doesn't have my interest right now. So,
And I think they did their build slow build, too slow.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a common question that I ask about once a month on here. How did we get here? Whose moment were we on?
Oh, it's Andrew's.
Okay.
So,
Drew?
we started.
well,
He did his bloodline thing, and we all kind of got up after, because we started talking about when to have Sammy and
Yeah.
Usos.
And
Then
we
we
got a
went into
little
everything else.
sidetracked.
Everything else WrestleMania.
Yeah. All right. Andrew, what you got? What's your moment for WWE this week?
Actually, there are a few, but they are all comedy moments this week.
Okay.
First, we had Edge talking to the Judgment Day, and referring to Rhea, Damien, and Priest as Lurch, Wednesday, and Pugsley. What else did we have? Oh, we had Dominic crying because he got a BMW instead of a Mercedes like all the other kids.
Yeah.
I'll
It just
take a
makes it-
BMW.
No
That just-
joke.
Yeah, that just makes him sound entitled.
But it was fun. And finally, we have Otis in the Maximum Male Models.
That was a
Oh,
good
come on.
segment.
It's funny.
Yes, that was a good one. Well, Masai saying that Chad broke his camera
Yeah.
and that he wasn't cosmetically cleared to wrestle.
Yeah, cosmetically cleared. That's funny.
Oh no, it was Mansois said that.
Yeah. But yeah, they're throwing more comedy in there with Triple H than there used to be, and it's a good thing.
But it's good comedy. It's
Yeah,
Vince,
it's not-
Vince had bad comedy.
Right. It's good comedy. Not just like the mixes of comedy they throw in here and there.
Yeah, and yeah, just the comedy shit, man. Like
And
there's
probably
nothing.
more. I just forgot a bunch of it, but there's probably more out there too.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with comedy in wrestling. There's always been comedy in wrestling. I mean, look at one of your champions in AEW, Orange Cassidy. Like, we're taking him seriously, but he still does the comedy spots, which is what we talk about every time we talk about Orange Cassidy. So, it has its place in wrestling.
And like Danhausen, before he was injured, he was starting to get pushed.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he is definitely a comedy wrestler.
Yeah. But then there's that different side of him that when he turns it on, nobody can stop him.
And from what I've heard, he almost quit wrestling because nothing was working until he came upon this character.
Yeah. Yeah. Which works. It works for him. And I don't think it would work for anybody else. But yeah, man, comedy spots. I really like Otis. And I think I said this last week. If I didn't say it on the podcast, I said it to one of you guys. I hate how much I'm liking it. Because when Maximum Male Model started up, it wasn't something I was finding myself getting into. But it's like they became a little less annoying and a lot more interesting with Otis.
And
And
it
with
was
Triple
because
H.
who was leading it too. Now you have Maxine instead of whatever his name was.
Max
LA Knight's name back then.
Max Dupree or
Yeah. So when she's doing it, it's funnier.
And she's nice to look at.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
keep it real.
So maybe now we have another Otis in love storyline.
yeah.
There's always that possibility.
But do it right. Because last time it didn't end right.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
I'm still hurt over that, actually. I just wanted to throw that out there. And
I
now
want another.
She picked the
I
wrong
wanna-
guy, and what's wrong with her? She's not here no more. Oh.
exactly. Now we
Yeah.
will never see that again.
But
Unless you
I
pay
want
for it.
another. I want another full side video.
That would bring back too many memories.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be funny. It would be funny to watch it. But just to touch on Zach and Bray Wyatt again, he said even Lexi is gone, so the Bray and Lexi thing is gone. She has said that she's ready and willing as long as they call her. That's all she's waiting on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think I don't know whose decision it was to kind of drop Lexi off the face of the earth. I know she said she wanted to take some time away, but it looks like she's ready to come back. So we'll just have to wait and see on that as well. As far as my moment, there's a lot I can go with, but I'm gonna have to go with Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus, the #1 contenders match. And it was a very good match. But the reason I decided to go for it is because I called it. I said this was gonna happen. I said Drew McIntyre and Sheamus were gonna go for a Claymore and a Bro Kick at the same time,
Yeah.
wiping each
Knock
other
each other
out.
the fuck out.
And that is exactly what happened. And now at WrestleMania, they're going to have a triple threat match. Exactly how I called
And
it.
you know what? I know that this has got to be a spot where they Bro Kick and Claymore Gunther at the same time, and then they fight
Please?
each other for the pin.
Please.
Or maybe another referee comes out and they both get the pin. They share the title. Oh.
We've
you
had that
stole
before.
the thought right out of my mind.
It wouldn't be the first time we've had co-IC champions.
Yeah, wouldn't be the first time we have co-champions.
You remember Chris Jericho in China back in the day?
Yeah. It's been done before, and it is
Cool.
something that can be done again.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind seeing that. I was just happy to watch something on TV, and I know this happens a lot with like smaller spots that we're able to call, or ending of matches, like we're able to call that shit. But for these two moves to happen at the same time, like I said it would, I was happy. I was happy to watch it happen.
Remember when Lake Cole they were the Divas champion?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like cool though.
And that was a Divas title.
Yeah, like nothing against the Divas title, but it wasn't as big as they thought it was.
Yeah.
You know, it was fine for the timeline we were in, but women's championships are where it's at, not Divas titles. So Zach said we all have to get window stickers on our cars that say "yeah" now. So I'm down. I'll find a way to get those stickers made.
Yeah.
What?
Now the only thing. Oh, fucking A. Okay, we get 2 stickers each. One that says "yeah," one that says "what," and we put it on opposite sides of the car.
And there is also something there because another one of Stone Cold's catchphrases is "Hell yeah."
Yeah. Now, okay,
yeah.
now the
Now you're stuck in the yeah loop.
now the only thing that needs to happen to make this go right full circle, Johnny, you need to buy a car. So you have one to put it on. All right, we're gonna do this real quick, just because Zach asked for it. On 3, we're gonna give him a hell yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Hell yeah!
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So now that we got our moments in there for WWE, I'm gonna go back to Johnny and get his moment for AEW this week.
We kicked off AEW with MJF and his Brie bar mitzvah ceremony. He came out with some ladies, and there was a cake there. He wanted to make it similar to his original bar mitzvah, which he posted pictures of. Which at 13, he also had women out there with him. And he had the WWE logo, but he had it upside down, so it was an M. And he said that saying that the Miz stole that from him. Because the Miz does his Miz TV and he turns it upside down. But anyway, he comes out and we get something that I think we thought we were heading for, but we weren't sure. One by one, each of the other of the four pillars came out. First, we had Jungle Boy, then we had Sammy, then we had Darby, and Max. He said, "What do y'all want?" And the three of them at the same time they said, "I want a title shot."
So pretty much what we just did with the Hell Yeah a couple of seconds ago. But
Yes, exactly.
asking for a title shot.
Yeah. And Max had some pretty good lines in there, saying that Jungle Boy had Christian and Sammy has Jericho and Darby has Sting, and fortunately for him he wasn't able to be a part of AEW Daddy Daycare. And
that's when the crowd start chanting Wardlow.
yeah,
Wardlow.
Wardlow, Cody Rhodes, The Pinnacle, William Regal.
Okay, I'm gonna share something real quick. I'm not gonna show it on screen, but I was trying to find all of the lines that were said.
Yeah, because there were a lot of good ones in there.
Yeah, but I came across something else. It's wrestler MJF celebrates Rebar Mitzvah by taunting Winnipeg crowd. And this is on JewishJournal.com. So, just because of him being Jewish and this whole shit happening, it's all over the place.
Yeah, because he was saying that Judaism is the best religion, which, I mean, I'm sure had some people didn't like that. I'm sure, but yeah. Then he went back and forth with Sammy about all the relationships that Sammy's been in, and Sammy's like, well, didn't your fiance just leave you?
Yeah, he said Sammy's gonna propose to another girl in a month.
and I like Sammy said, I'm about to turn this Rebar Mitzvah into a recircumcision. and at the same time, Tony said, "Ooh, that's stiff."
I really should have pulled up all these lines, but yeah.
Yeah, no, there's too many to remember.
Yeah, the one that sticks out to me is the one that Andrew brought up. It's when Max said, "Then we got Sammy. I'm gonna propose to another girl in 7 months, Guevara."
Yes, that was it.
That was the one that stuck out to me, man. I can't forget it. I can't get that line out of my head because, yes, we all know the issues with Sammy Guevara and the shit him and Ty Mello have been getting over their personal life.
Yeah, because his first fiance, he actually proposed to her on AEW.
Yeah. And people just being mad over, like, normal shit happening. If Sammy wasn't in AEW, this would just be a normal situation somewhere else. Like, not on TV, this would just be some normal shit happening. But because he has eyes on him, everybody blew it out of proportion, I think. So, yeah, but it's funny that Max brought it up and that they can roll with it,
Yeah.
And Sammy just laughing it off. That was good as well.
And so, of course, there's a cake there, so somebody's going to go through it. And, of course, it's in the MJF that ends up going through the cake at the end of the segment. And this looks like the next match we're headed to. I don't know if it's going to be a double or nothing because you still got almost 2 months to double or nothing. So maybe you have a 4-way at a show, a Dynamite, a special Dynamite special, maybe leading into CM Punk returning, and maybe make that the match, CM Punk versus MJF for Double or Nothing. I don't know. There's still a lot of time.
Yeah. I just want to know when's the next time they're going to be in Chicago. Because I think enough time has passed to where the crowd would be crazy again. So yeah, that's all I want to know. Whatever the first show, if there's another show in Chicago between now and Double or Nothing, that's where you do it at. I think that's the perfect crowd to put it in. Because yeah, I think they announced this technically in a way too soon if they are going to wait until Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, this match needs to happen within the month, I think. Is what I would say. But hell yeah, I fucking love that shit, dude. That is one of the segments from AEW that I'm gonna have to add to my saved list on YouTube, because that's a rewatch. I can watch that so many times.
And we were saying the other night that the segment was so good that we didn't even pick our phones up
No.
through the whole thing.
Normally we do. Normally, like, we're either messaging each other or I'm fucking around on Twitter trying to see what people are saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't even pay attention to my phone during that whole bit. So, hell yeah, that was some really, really fucking good shit. Not exactly how I thought. Yeah, not exactly how I thought his rebar mitzvah would go, but it blew. They blew it out of the water. That shit was good.
Or as I put it on Twitter, rebarf mitzvah.
Fucking MJF is hilarious, but I'm glad this shit is going down. So, now that we got Johnny's moment in there, I'm going to go over to Drew and get his moment for AEW this week.
I hate AEW. We had 3 top level matches this week. And it's just hard to choose just one to talk about.
You hate him in a good way.
Right. But
yeah, it seems like Dynamite is. It's almost like they're going back to basics, like when it first started.
right. And 2 of them were title matches. And the other one was just a flat-out brawl. So
Yeah.
let's go with the triple threat trios match,
Okay.
which was a great match. 9 of the top athletes in this company. You had the Elite versus the JAS versus House of Black for the trios title. And I can't even begin to describe all the movesets in this thing. But I want to know who the crowd was behind. Were they behind the Elite because of Kenny? Or were they behind JAS because of Jericho? They're both from Winnipeg. Wasn't they in Winnipeg, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And both these guys are from Winnipeg, so and Jericho's dad was there.
Yeah. And I know that they popped when they faced off against each other, because that's the first time they've been in a match together since they had their title match.
Right.
And the other part where they got real loud for them is when Jericho and Omega were teasing working together.
Yeah, to take out Brody King.
Yeah.
Because he's a big old boy.
Yeah, he's the biggest boy in that bitch.
Yeah.
Like I said, there was a lot of great action. great way to end the show. Top. Man, but House of Black retained their titles, which I figured they would since they only won them last Sunday, a week
Yeah.
and a half ago. So I figured they would keep them. But hey, it was a great show. It was a great match all the way around. You had so many different combos and movesets and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was just great. And
Yeah.
get a chance, just watch it.
Yeah, and even
Just
though like Kenny and Jericho were in the match, it didn't feel like that took away from anything.
Oh, it did.
Because even though they are the hometown boys, it could have gone either way. And they were cheering for everybody equally, I would say. So, yeah, a little bit more for Jericho and Omega since, like I said, hometown boys. But, yeah, it was just really good all the way around. It wasn't one-sided for the Canadian boys. But, yeah, that's really good shit. I am also gonna say the same thing you said. I fucking hated AEW at times this week, but in a good way. There's good hate and there's bad hate, and this was good hate. And how dare you make me think that Jeff Jarrett actually had a chance of beating Orange Cassidy, bro?
Yes, there were several times in that match that you thought that Jeff Jarrett was going to win.
Yes. Especially after Jay Lethal got involved.
Yeah. I would say probably my favorite spot in the match was when Orange Cassidy got the guitar whenever Aubrey was focusing on Jarrett. But then he saw that she was about to turn back around. So he tosses the guitar out to, what's his name?
The big guy.
Satnam.
Satnam. Tosses the guitar to Satnam, and Cassidy just throws himself onto the mat, and he just starts clutching at his knee, which they were focusing on throughout the match. It was a really good match. A lot of shit happened in it. But yeah, man, I don't like how uncomfortable I felt during that match. It was really good. I was really into the whole damn match. But those last 2 to 3 minutes had me super worried. Because I knew the Canada crowd was about to boo the shit out of Jarrett if he won. And I know some of us have seen these because y'all have sent some to me, but showing people smashing their TVs because of what happens in NFL games and shit, I probably would have found myself real tempted to end up in a situation like that if Jarrett would have won.
Yeah.
I just like this shit, man.
I liked when Cassidy first come out carrying his backpack. He stops at that little table, picks up the new the international championship?
Yeah.
Puts it in his bag and takes the old Atlantic and just lays it down over the table.
Yeah.
Swaps
Okay.
up to the title real quick. That was funny.
Okay, and I know I just said my favorite moment in the match, but my favorite moment before the match was when Orange Cassidy was making his way to the ring, and then in the crowd he spots the Shockmaster. And he just does the Orange Cassidy like lazy fist bump. Yeah, that shit was great, man. Look, this is what pro wrestling is about. It's
Having
going
fun.
there to have fun. And this dude went full Shockmaster in the crowd.
You know, when they mentioned that, I found out that the Shockmaster is, he's passed away now, the original, but he was Cody Rhodes' uncle.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because he's brother-in-law to Dusty.
That's just like a couple of things we keep hearing, and I don't know if I had heard of this before or not, but do y'all know Cody is part Hispanic?
Yeah, I saw that.
I think I've heard that too.
His mom's from Guatemala or something.
Nah, definitely not Guatemalan, dude. If his mom was Guatemalan, I would have known.
No, where's his mom from?
Cause I'd be like showing the proud Guatemalan flag on that shit. Okay, Zach just confirmed that he's Cuban. He's part Cuban.
Oh,
Fuck, I did not know that shit.
and
know?
I know we said this before, but did y'all know Fuego del Sol is Cody's nephew?
There you go. So yeah, it checks out, bro. It checks out in a way. But yeah, dude, this whole bit with Orange Cassidy and Jeff Jarrett, it was the perfect combination of seriousness and hilarity. Like we said, we go to these shows just to have fun, man. Whether it be from serious matches, from comedy bits, or whatever, we just go to have fun. So this
But-
match proves that.
I do want to mention something though about AEW. So Rampage was coming on very late this week because of the NCAA tournament. supposed to come on at 10:30 our time.
Tomorrow, 11.
When I started the recording, there was still like, I don't know, like 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter of the game. So I ended up only recording about 25 minutes of Rampage, which was two matches. The Powerhouse Hobbs and Ray Phoenix match, and Taya Valkyrie. Oh, by the way, Taya's in AEW now. Taya Valkyrie's squash match. But yeah, I mean, they couldn't have shown it on a different night. They couldn't have shown it earlier because they had like 12 fucking hours of basketball that day or yesterday.
It is March Madness.
Who cares? I don't like college basketball.
I don't either. I don't follow it, but
I don't
I
even
ended up
follow
watching the last of the games. So that way
I don't even follow college football. But you know what? I think it would have been good at least maybe if Warner Brothers Discovery could have said, you know what, just for this week, go ahead and have a live Rampage after Dynamite.
Yeah, it wasn't the best thing to do. I know there's gonna be scheduling conflicts, but I just don't I'm not into March Madness. I'm not into none of that college basketball bullshit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sucked. Because I didn't lose as much time on it as you did. Because when I set my recordings, I always set it for an additional either 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what the show is.
Yeah.
So I only missed the last 7 minutes of it, roughly.
I missed out on seeing the Bollywood Boys.
That was actually pretty good. I liked it.
I actually miss Sunil and Samir Singh.
I didn't give them credit I didn't give them a lot of credit when they were in WWE because they really didn't do much.
No, they were just genders lackeys.
Yeah, but hey, look, everyone has a fair shot in AEW to prove themselves. Whether it be on Dark, whether it be on Elevation, whether it be Dynamite or Rampage, you're gonna get a shot. And now there's
unless you're MJF, you only appear on Dynamite.
Yeah, true. Unless if you're MJF, because you only want to be on Dynamite.
That's what Jungle Boy said.
But the other thing I'm gonna say is, if all goes as planned and if what we are hearing is correct, they're gonna have a chance on Saturday now.
Yes.
Because they're thinking about doing another show on Saturday. I hear it's another hour-long show. It's not going to be 2 hours or anything like
Wait.
that.
I mean, that's fine.
But that's just another show to try and give us moments for the podcast. And
Yeah, 'cause it
with
sounds
more
like
amazing wrestling.
It's from the time slot I've heard. It sounds like it's going to come on just before we come on with the podcast.
Yeah, I hear it's either 5 to 6 or 6 to 7.
Yeah,
So it's either going to end an hour before we start or right as we're starting it's going to end.
Yeah.
Which is perfect timing because it'll be fresh in our minds.
yeah.
So, yeah. I know some people are saying it's way too much, but it's only another hour and it's on a Saturday, so.
And they actually need that because Rampage isn't doing good in the ratings, and last night or this morning's episode it's not gonna do good.
Yeah. It's the time slot, man.
Yeah,
They need a better time slot for their Friday
Yeah.
show.
yeah, because that's like right after you've already had 2 hours of wrestling from WWE,
Yeah.
and it's Friday night anyway. A lot of people are out.
Yeah. If it was up to me and if they were to be able to swing it, I would put it right before SmackDown.
Yeah,
6 to
six.
7 time slot.
Yes.
But in a perfect world.
When is Impact on?
Thursdays.
Thursdays, yeah.
Which should now Impact, and for those that have Honor Club, it's competing with Ring of Honor.
Yeah. Yeah, man, there's gonna be new opportunities to be able to see either people that we don't see as much on Dynamite and Rampage, or just have a chance to further build storylines. Either way, we're gonna get some really, really good wrestling. So, yeah, man. Even though some people are saying it's either not enough or it's really, really good, because I've heard it both ways. I've heard some people say this doesn't feel like it's WrestleMania season.
Yeah.
Which sometimes it doesn't feel like it because we haven't had that hardcore in your face build. But SmackDown proved they can do it if they really wanted to. Because SmackDown was a real WrestleMania heavy build show. So, yeah, man. I think these next 2 weeks for WWE are going to be insane. I hope they are. Because they need that shit going towards WrestleMania. So.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what Dom's going to have to do to get ready to say yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
What?
Maybe he gets LA Knight to help out somehow.
Well, they're fighting this week, Ray and
Yeah.
LA Knight.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know what Dominic is going to have to do, but he needs to do something crazy. Something
Because
insane.
it was also announced that that Conan is going to be inducting him in the Hall of Fame. So a lot of people are saying maybe Dominic attacks Conan.
I just don't think you need to. I know, like, it's the Hall of Fame, and technically people are like, it doesn't count. Like, it doesn't really matter. It's, like, not a real Hall of Fame or whatever. But,
So the real Wrestling Hall of Fame is in Wichita Falls.
yeah. But, this is Rey Mysterio's moment, man. Like I mentioned last week, historic career he has had. So, me personally, I wouldn't ruin his WrestleMania or his Hall of Fame moment just to build that match in the last minute. You need to let him have his moment with Conan. You need to have his wife and his daughter out there. I don't know how you do, Dom. Maybe he's just sitting in the audience and he's just like chilling there with Rio and no selling whatever they're doing. But
Maybe they're just heckling him from the for their seats.
Yeah, I don't know, but the one thing I don't want to see happen is that, like an attack on Conan or Dominic attacking Mysterio. That's the last thing I need to
Well,
see.
you do
them.
if you do that, you do it not at the Hall of Fame. You do it like the week before on Raw or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the problem is Conan is only going to be at the Hall of Fame.
Unless he's in a backstage segment,
Right.
Raw
Yeah.
or something.
I don't think he would be on like actual WWE like weekly programming. I understand the Hall of Fame because that's like a special thing they're bringing him in for, but I don't think he would be on like Raw or SmackDown.
Unless he's there just set at the angle. And
Because you got to do something. Because Ray's done said what 4, 5, 6 times he's not going to wrestle his son.
Rey Mysterio's almost sound like Kevin Owens. Keep saying no.
He just wants a friend. He just wants a son. Damn
He
it.
wants a son.
What if, and I'm going to hate myself for saying this, what if this coming week Cody is like, well, I already fixed Sammy. Already fixed the Sammy situation. Why not go over there and try and fix this situation with Ray and Dom?
The American Fixer, Cody Rhodes.
The American Fixer, Cody Rhodes. Okay.
So, before we get to WrestleMania, we're going to have a 6-man with the Bloodline versus.
We have
Yes.
to. They have
Yes.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's got to be on that go home SmackDown.
I figured it would. Figured it will be. You got to.
Yeah. Yeah, but all of this ties into what I said of these next 2 weeks need to be insane programming from WWE, which I think it's something that we're gonna get because Triple H isn't just gonna take it easy these last 2 weeks. He's gonna make shit happen. And this isn't normally something I mention on here, but I'm gonna mention it on here for 2 different reasons. One, because I think it's good and a little bit funny, and we've been a little bit more on the hilarious sides at time today. And 2, I don't want to forget it. So I'm going to put it on record. That way, if I do forget, one of you remembers. The title of this podcast is going to be Cody is his name and fixing is his game. Just so I don't forget it. I had to mention it on here. So if y'all get a text message from me saying, what was it again? Y'all can remind me. But to see if he needs a reminder on how things goes or how things happened, segue. It is time to stump the brain.
Okay. I want to know the only person, since we talked about this last week, to win back-to-back King of the Ring tournaments.
Maybe he got a little bit too comfortable thinking it was going to be something we didn't talk about last week. It's right under his nose. He might not remember. Hell, I don't remember.
Back-to-back King of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
All right. While he tries and gets his mind right on the answer, I'm just going to show off some of the shit I have on here that I think is pretty cool. Even though Zach has already seen these. Like you know, I am a big Fast and the Furious fan. I got these. Dom's RX-7 and the Supra
Brian
that
Supra.
they build with Brian. Yeah. I had to get them, man. They look pretty badass. I want to show off everything I got here.
Okay. Was it Stone Cold?
No. It was in 91 and 93.
Oh. No. Oh, Bret Hart.
Bret the Hitman Hart, yes.
See, I knew about 93 for Bret Hart. I didn't know about 91.
Yeah. Because they don't hold a King of the Ring tournament every year. They do it like every other year. Sometimes they
Yeah.
wait 5 years. But
Yeah.
And that's one of the other things I want to see how they're going to do this year, with them bringing King of the Ring back and doing Queen of the Ring as well. I want to see how that's going to work, because are they going to go back to the old format?
Yeah, the old format was they had the whole thing in one day, one pay-per-view.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if they would.
The last few times they had lead up and the pay-per-view be.
Yeah. My only question that I would need answered is, are they going to do it all in one night, like men and women's, or are they going to have separate nights for it? Because knowing WWE, they would want to run separate nights if they could, just like they do with WrestleMania.
And I mean, they're going to be in Saudi, so.
It's possible. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see when it comes to that, but that's if they go to the old format, which it looks like they are. I'm excited to see King of the Ring back, because that was one of my favorites.
Yeah. It also depends on how many people is going to start each tournament.
Yeah.
Like if you start with 4 for each, that's
That's 8 matches right there in the first round.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to handle that situation. And just for my last note to Zach, get yourself the Super, bro. You know you want it. Yeah, but it's going to be, I'm hoping it's going to be a real interesting next 2 weeks for WWE. I'm excited to see what Hijo del Vikingo and in AEW is going to look like. Is he going to get his graphic afterwards? Like, there's a lot of questions with me going into this week.
I don't think he'd get a graphic because he is their champion, so.
I want to know how crazy he's going to be on the ropes.
Oh, he's going to be crazy, bro.
Because you see all the stuff he does on TikTok, you know.
Yeah. And that's just like a short clip of what he does.
Yeah.
He does more insane shit elsewhere in the match. So, yeah, for all of you talking shit and saying, why are we getting this? After Wednesday, I don't want to hear that shit. All right?
Yeah.
And if you are going to keep talking that shit, I'm just going to tell you to fuck off. Did you tag me in that shit?
Yes, I did.
All right, cool. I'm going over there as soon as we finish here.
I just put your name in the reply, so it's in there.
All right. If y'all want to see some good arguing, go to Twitter and just look up my name, and we're good. Yeah, look up Amish Boy Freddy, aka Triggered, and you'll see me arguing with some douchebag. So, yeah, we'll see what happens this coming week, but I think it's going to be very, very interesting. But like always, if you have any questions or comments, WrestleLost@gmail.com, WrestleLost on Facebook. Don't forget to give us a follow here on Twitch, and don't forget to give us a follow on YouTube as well, because we're going to have a video coming out sometime this week, because tomorrow I'm going to get tatted again. So we're going to do a little bit of filming if they allow us to, and some that video will be coming to YouTube soon. So hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will talk to you all next weekend.